Guys, if you have any questions you're going to ask Tom, do me a favor and line up right in behind this microphone right here. We're going to talk a little bit, and then we're going to open up the floor for questions or whatever. How you been, brother?
I've been great, Mark. It's been a year. I feel like I'm too far away from you.
That's okay. That's all right. Good to see you as always. It's been a year, man. The fans love you. The kids love you. You are literally a legend because SpongeBob SquarePants is emblazoned in people's minds all around the world. There's not too many things that you can do that, especially for children.
No, it's a really lucky lottery scratcher. But it's funny. One thing you learn from doing these cons is that everything is somebody's thing. You know what I mean? For some people, that's SpongeBob if they're of a certain age and birth date. For some people, it's the other 90s Nicktoons, Rocko's Modern Life. For some people, it's Heifer. And for some people, it's early Cartoon Network stuff. For some people, it's some video game that took you 20 minutes 20 years ago and you kind of forgot about the second you left the parking lot, and now it's coming back and you're signing stuff going, I barely remember doing this, but okay, I'll sign it. It's really fun. It's kind of like having your life flash before your eyes. Without the whole then dying part.
But it affects you in a way, I'm sure, that makes you proud, when you enjoy the love that you've given to young Logan and other...
Well, it makes me proud, it makes me happy, and I also feel like somebody who's gotten away with something. You know what I mean? It's like Catch Me If You Can. It's like that movie Catch Me If You Can. Where it's like,
of course, it's thievery. You stole their hearts.
It's like I'm celebrating 30 day job free years this year. Since I had to work a real job, I always consider every year to be like another it's like the video game Frogger. You just tried to get across the freeway without getting flattened. It's like 30 years and I'm still not flattened. So.
Yeah. That's incredible. I'm really curious at these questions that's coming up by these guys. So let's go ahead and get the first one. Hello, Devil Girl.
Hi.
Hi.
Does your SpongeBob voice come naturally, or does it take a long time to kind of get your voice?
No, SpongeBob's like a comfortable old shoe. You can slip right into him. And I've been doing him nearly every Wednesday since we did the pilot in 1997. So, I've been doing SpongeBob pretty much non-stop. The show will take long breaks, but then we'll do a movie for a long time, we'll do video games, there's always some SpongeBob product that needs SpongeBob talking in it. So he really is like this comfortable alter ego, and the other actors on the show feel the same way, and everybody's friends, and everybody's functional and nice. Nobody's insane, which is amazing in show business.
Yeah.
That everybody's kind of functional and glad to have what they got. So it's a good group of folks.
Right. But you're married, right? You have family?
Are you asking out?
Yeah. I'm asking a sponge out. Come on. You can't get blood out of a turnip.
I'm actually married, as some of you may know. My wife is an actress named Jill Talley, who is the voice of Plankton's computer wife, Karen. And she was actually doing voiceover before I was able to break in.
Really? I was just curious.
She was doing commercials and stuff, and then we got an 18-year-old kid and a 12-year-old kid.
Okay, so are they interested in any voice acting?
My son is actually going to SVA next year, the School of Visual Arts for college, to do animation.
Cool.
So,
wow.
Yeah, he's an animator guy. I'm just glad they don't want to be actors.
Well, actor is look what it's done to you. So how can we go wrong?
I don't know that I'd wish it on anybody. It takes you a long time to figure it out.
Yeah, well, you've obviously have. So, you good, girl? Okay.
Thank you. Devil or angel, always on my mind.
Hi, my name's Riley. So,
Hi, Riley.
I was wondering if you ever catch yourself using your SpongeBob voice whenever you're out in your daily life, ordering something.
Yeah, like at the supermarket or at the bank.
If I hit my thumb with a hammer and I start cussing really loud at SpongeBob. I really do feel like I've been doing it for so long that it kind of, he's kind of always in there, like sometimes, especially after I've been doing them in the recording booth for a long time. and then, 4 hours.
4 hours of talking like this and doing all this crazy SpongeBob stuff.
And then they go, okay, that's cool. See you next week, Tom. And you walk out, and the security guard at Nickelodeon says, see you next week, Tom. And you go,
Okay, see you later.
and you go, wait, sorry, Dom, I don't need to talk like that anymore. And then you try to cover up by being extra macho, I mean, see you Wednesday, Dom.
You don't use that voice going through a TSA line.
No, because there is that you are assured a full cavity search if you speak as a cartoon character in the TSA line, sir. Yeah, that's him stretching his glove.
And SpongeBob has a lot of holes, so TSA would take over. That's a lot of cavities.
Thank you.
A lot of cavities. That's a long search.
Hi.
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 Hi. My name is Karis. I might be a little bit too excited. Don't ask me my age.
How old are you?
Really? 23.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Don't
So
go there, yo.
it's kind of the best day ever. So will you sing the best day ever song, please?
Sure. I also wrote that song, or co-wrote that song.
Mr. Sun came up and he smiled at me. Said it's gonna be a good one, just wait and see. Jumped out of bed and I ran outside, feeling so extra ecstatified. It's the best day ever.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
I was just glad to get the word ecstatified into a song, because that's a word I just made up. That's not even real. So I'm all ecstatified. Hi, sweet.
Hi.
Hi, I remember you.
What's your name?
Erin.
Annie?
Erin.
That's what I said. Go ahead.
What is your favorite actor?
My favorite actor? Wow. Like, favorite live on camera actor, or favorite cartoon voice actor?
Cartoon voice actor.
Cartoon voice actor. Well, there was a guy named Mel Blanc that was kind of my idol when I was growing up. He kind of invented the job that I have, voice characterization. He was the first guy to actually have that be his job title, voice characterizations by Mel Blanc. And he was so many characters. He was Bugs Bunny and Tweety Bird and Daffy Duck and Barney Rubble and Porky Pig and a whole bunch of lesser stuff you forget about, like Captain Caveman and stuff like that. Yeah, he worked for a really long time. So I love him. There's an actress named June Foray that's very elderly but still with us. Yeah, she was Rocky the Flying Squirrel on an old cartoon called Bullwinkle. And
a lot of fractured fairy tales.
yeah, stuff that's before your time. But there's still when I was starting to when I was transitioning from being a stand-up comedian into doing voice acting, the people that were in it then that I really said, wow, I want to be like that person. There was a guy named Billy West, Rob Hutchison, a guy named Jim Cummings that's here at this con. Those were the guys that I said, if I could just get my foot in the door and to work with those guys, that's all I want. It's really not all that I ever really wanted to do, but it's when I would watch cartoons, I wanted to be the guy that did the talking for the cartoons, and it was tough to break into. It was a tough nut to crack. I made a living as a stand-up, a writer, an on-camera actor, like way easier than I ever made a living as a voice actor. Like that was by far the toughest Rubicon to cross. So, but it's the people that you that you look at when you want to do something. The people that you go, that person's really good. I want to try and be as good as that person. Those people are really important to your formative process. So.
Okay.
That's way too much information.
Aaron's like, don't sleep on that.
Yeah.
You're so cute. Thank you for the question. That was very good. How old are you? How old?
7.
You're 7. But you talk like a 20-year-old. So good job, girl. Yeah, I love her t-shirt too. Marvel. Hello.
Hello. Which one do you think is better as an instrument, mayonnaise or or horseradish?
Well, you know, horseradish has a little hotter tone, but mayonnaise is smooth. So I like no, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument. That's my favorite episode, by the way. Band Geeks is my favorite channel.
Okay. That's what are we having here? What's going on?
She wants to ask another question.
Follow up.
Go for it. Judges?
Yes.
How hard is it to come up with different voices for different characters?
You know,
How do you remember who's who?
well, that's easy. I mean, they generally the thing that's hard is when you do a character and then it doesn't come back on the show for a long time, and they go, "Remember customer number 47 from season 1?" And you're like, "No," you know. They always have a little replay, yeah, a little voice reference to play for you. But I'm always auditioning. Like I'm kind of sick in the head because I love auditioning for stuff. But when I was doing on-camera stuff, I hated auditioning. I hated going in that room and you say your name and you sit there and there's like a little video camera and you're reading with a bored casting director who's done the scene 8 billion times that day, and you just feel so. I never cracked that code of being able to audition effectively. You know, I felt as an on-camera actor. I would get stuff here and there, but like I felt like my batting average was pretty not where I wanted it to be. And then when I started doing voiceover, I really enjoy the auditioning process. Like even if you don't get it, like I mean, like a lot of actors will tell you. Like I just read an interview with, or saw an interview with Bryan Cranston where he said this, that you know, the audition is kind of like all you got control of.
Yeah.
Like what you do when you go in there and you present that, like that's yours. And then as long as you feel good about that, you can't really control whether they say, that's the voice we're thinking of, that's the guy we want, that's, you know, that's all kind of out of your hands. You just kind of float your audition out there. I guess not embarrassing myself is kind of my whole motive. Like as long as I don't embarrass myself, I think I'm doing awesome.
How do you embarrass yourself? How do you embarrass yourself as a character that you're coming up with? I mean,
Well,
it's
you know-
supposed to be goofy a little bit anyway.
Yeah, no, I have a really high threshold for embarrassment, obviously, but I think when you, it's for me like taking your appearance out of the equation, like what you look like, how old you are or aren't, you know, what, you know, like when you audition for voiceover, as long as you can sound like that character to people's ears, you can be that character. Whereas when you walk into a room for an on-camera audition, they're immediately going, you know, he or she is a little too old, a little too fat, a little too, she's blonde, we were hoping for somebody that was taller. You know, there's all these and with voiceover, all those preconceived notions are off the table. You know, unless you're a celebrity that they're casting, you know, to sound like you're, you know, unless they want you to be Will Smith sounding like Will Smith.
Yeah.
So.
It sounds very complicated. Thanks for the questions. Appreciate that. But let me ask
I
you.
overthink everything.
Yeah, well, look, but still, when you go in for an audition, and I'm sorry, Derek, but you go in for an audition, I'm sure that they have some sort of look, you know, maybe a drawing,
Yes.
or whatever, a model, even a statue. Of,
Yeah.
okay, this is the character we want you to be. What do you think it sounds like? Are you allowed? Are you allowed carte blanche and say, this is what it's going to sound like, or are they giving you enough information to say, I want it to sound more like this?
It's all reading tea leaves, and you get, the more you do it, the better you get at reading the tea leaves. Like, you know, really, it's you know, the more swings you take at home plate, you know, the more swings you're allowed to take, the more often you'll connect with the ball, to use the only sports metaphor I've ever used in my life. But it's, you know, you really just have you know, the breadcrumbs in front of you, and you try to make yourself a little trail. Okay, this is the drawing. Here's a little personality paragraph that they tell you what he's like. Maybe sometimes they'll give you some examples of types of voices they're looking for. Think such and such meets so and so.
Oh, I see.
And, you know, and then you either collate that or just throw it out and go, you know, I'm gonna go.
But think about it, folks. That's an incredible talent to do. Personally, you maybe think yourself, but for me, I could probably only come up with maybe 2 or 3 little squeaky, funny little voices, and that's it. I try a 4th one, and it's going to sound just like the first one, and I didn't do it. But yet you got multiple voices that you can master.
Yeah. Well, it's you just try to within your little bag, you try to come up with as many variations as you can. And so there's there's guys that I work with that can run rings around me, but you just try to do as much as you can with what you got.
Yeah. Well, I would come up with just spit. That's it. Hi.
Spit will work. Hi, Black Canary.
Thank you for recognizing my costume.
You're very welcome. Believe it or not, I'm a nerd. I know you can't tell by looking at me.
I can tell a bit by your voice.
Plus, I live under the sea. I've seen a fishnet or 2.
Good job. All right.
Madeline, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm 22 years old, and I've been growing up with your voice. And how does it feel to know that you've impacted so many generations of people, being that echo of a familiar friend, going from SpongeBob to Powerpuff Girls to Foster's to even Rick and Morty now? Being squanchy.
I know. Well, again, the best, to me, the most awesome part of the voice acting gig is that you can be on all those different types of shows. Like in the same day, you can do a preschool show and then be on Rick and Morty, that same afternoon. That's definitely not for preschoolers, but my 18-year-old thinks I'm cool because I'm on that, But it feels really good. Like today, I don't know if he's here or not, but a young man came up to my table and said, I just want you to know that if it wasn't for SpongeBob, like watching SpongeBob when I was a little kid, I never would have met my best friend. And he's still my best friend.
This gentleman right here. That one and that one right there.
Hey, there he is! So they know that I wasn't made. He tells that story at every Comic-Con. What a fun The fictional guy that told him if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have met my best friend.
I've heard it before.
Yeah, but that's true, right? And that really touched me. I told you, and that's cool that like this silly job that you do, and this little character that you do that's totally fun and pleasant way to make a living, also has this ripple effect that reaches people in different ways. Makes families laugh together. Somebody meets their best friend that they stay friends with for forever. It's that's kind of cool to be a catalyst for that kind of positive.
Well, you are an epitome of child development, because this is the beginning. This is the start, and what molds them as they grow up, it comes from the roots of what you have provided for us. Does that sound right? Yeah.
Well, that stuff, and then me and everybody else in this room just stays there. we still love all the same stuff we did when we were 8 years old, right? Like all.
Absolutely.
Whatever music you were listening to when you were 14 is the music you're listening to for the rest of your life. Whatever cartoons you loved when you were 8 or 10 years old, that's what you love for the rest of your life. That stuff, those formative ages, stuff goes really deep. I mean, that's why, I still get excited when I June Foray, when I run into her places, because she was such a seminal voice of my childhood. And Stan Lee sat right behind me on the plane today. I grew up, I grew up being a Marvel Comics fanatic, like in the 70s, 60s and 70s, and just hearing him one row behind me going, I'll have an orange juice, please. I'm texting my wife still, they just ordered orange juice. Nerd! But that stuff that hits you in your solar plexus when you're young stays with you. And so long story short, to be a part of just cool, positive stuff that makes people happy is a really beautiful byproduct of a job that would even be fun without that.
Right.
It's a little mayonnaise, horseradish on top of the sandwich.
So you voiced many characters. So out of all the characters that you voiced besides SpongeBob, which one was your favorite to voice?
Wow. Well, I don't know if I don't know if I'm allowed to say this.
Whoa. First off,
Never mind.
why wouldn't you be allowed to say this?
Because it's something secret that's coming out.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be turning off all internet devices, phones.
Let's just say that, those early 90s Nicktoons have a real
Wait, would you just
place in people's
early
hearts.
90s nature?
Nicktoons, nature tunes,
really?
nature tunes, yeah. So I think Nickelodeon is probably looking at those and going, hey, we should revisit some of these and kind of bring them back to some degree. And it's fun to revisit characters that you did, everything comes around again. Like, I never thought when Powerpuff Girls ended, like in 2001 or whatever.
That was a huge Powerpuff Girls.
And now I'm back doing the mail on Thursdays. So I love the mayor. Ice King is really close to my heart. He's really fun to do, and they still keep giving him layers of backstory. Like we've been recording like this multi-part Betty Ice King epic that probably won't even be on screens for 9 months or a year, and they just keep laying new Ice King stuff, like new shades to his character, and so I love doing him. But I had fun doing all of it. Like people go, "What's the worst job you ever had? Like, what's the worst, most awful voiceover job you ever did where you just were like, get me out of here?" And it's like I can't really think of any. Like some are less fun than others, but I think all of us that do this for a living, like you're always aware of like, this isn't as fun as some of the gigs that I do, but it sure beats unloading trucks, which is what I would be doing if I wasn't doing this. So, no plan B. Never had a plan B. So,
So about the secret project that you're not allowed to talk about, when should we expect an announcement of the secret project?
I think it's in the talking stage, very much in its infancy. But I hope I get to revisit some of them early Nicktoons characters.
Cool.
That was a hoot.
Thank you. Is that a Raven outfit?
Indeed.
Oh, Teen Titans. Go.
So I had another question originally, but I just have to know, did you get up and say hi to Stanley on the plane? Or did you just fangirl from ahead?
Yeah, that's my dad.
As soon as he saw me get up, he started fake sleeping. Oh, it's that guy! No, I've worked with Stan a lot, like a few times here and there on Marvel stuff. So, but I still get really excited because it's him. You know what I mean? You're like, wow, this guy, the stuff that this guy came up with out of his head in like a 3-year period is the backbone of the entire 2016 entertainment industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I look at Stan and I go, okay, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Hulk, but then you go, even his B-list, X-Men, and you know what I mean? Right? Like that was the stuff that he thought wasn't so great. Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Never had money.
Yeah, like that. Even his lesser ideas are so awesome. Just that streak that he had is just, I can't get my mind around coming up with that much iconic stuff in such a short period of time. When you do the math, I'm like, and he's probably the last dinosaur. Right? Like, how many guys that were writing comics in 1941 are still with us? He was writing comics when he was a 17-year-old kid in 1941.
Unbelievable.
That's right. I mean, that's mind blowing. So for that, I just but yeah, he was very SpongeBob. How you doing? Is the show still going? That's a good gig.
No, absolutely. It will still go. I'm sure it is. The only thing that burns my retinas out is seeing SpongeBob. Hey, Logan. Listen to this. Watch this. The only thing that's burned my retinas about SpongeBob SquarePants is that I saw SpongeBob SquarePants' naked butt.
Look at that.
I saw, boy, I was getting a camera on that kid right now.
It happens.
We saw his butt, man. I mean, did you have to sign a contract?
More than once. More than once.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the last movie they did like a Coppertone spoof poster where that was the focal point of where your eye went, was right to crack it on there.
You good?
Yeah, did you have a follow-up, Raven?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, we'll give you another one.
Alright, you told me before what SpongeBob's Hogwarts house is, but I wondered what yours was.
Wow.
And
Well,
he said Ravenclaw.
what my Hogwarts house would be? Okay, gosh. First of all, I never went to college, so I probably would not have even. They would have looked at my application and just said no. Yeah, I probably would have been the underachiever one. Which one is that? That's not
Slytherin.
No, Slytherin's a bad guy.
Oh, Hufflepuff.
Say it.
Huh?
Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff is not an underachiever.
So you say. Yeah.
I would say Hufflepuff. I would say Hufflepuff. Yeah.
There you go.
I would go Hufflepuff.
Thanks, Raven. Appreciate it, dear. Hey, man.
Hey, my name's Ben. I just wanted to know, how did you develop your SpongeBob laugh and how do you do it?
Oh, let's see. The SpongeBob laugh came about
Like when Steve Hillenberg was, we were working on the pilot for Nickelodeon. He was going to pitch this crazy thing to Nickelodeon, but he hadn't presented it to them yet. But he knew he wanted me to do the voice, so and he was going to try and shove me down their throat as the voice. He was like, yeah, they're gonna want me to listen to a whole bunch of other people, but I just want you to know that you're as far as I'm concerned, you're the guy, and I'm going to fight for you and hope I can hold the line. But if I have to cave, I hope you'll understand. And I said, of course, yeah. So we were just sitting around one Saturday at his apartment. He was living in an apartment, and yeah, that's mind blowing. And he said, "How would SpongeBob laugh? He has a big laugh here." And we just started throwing stuff around. I said, maybe something like a porpoise or a dolphin, kind of like that weird noise that a porpoise or a dolphin makes. And he was like, "Yeah, that's really weird. Do that again." I go, he goes, "Oh, that's great. So 18 years later, it's like, Dad, will you stop that? It's like, hey kid, pay for that pool you're swimming in, Get off my back.
Your wife goes, how do I look in this dress? I need a drink. Okay, all right, you good?
Coffee.
Can I ask a follow-up?
Okay.
This is just coffee.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate it. There you go.
Hi guys.
And he still films.
Speaking of 90s Nicktoons, right?
Yeah. Just like I said, you're like the first actor I ever knew and voice actor. So I've started like unpiling layers and layers of roles. Ice King, even Raimundo and Challenge Showdown, which surprised me the most. And my thing is, where do you go? So what is your well to go back and say I could do this mannerism? Like, how do you make up all these different mannerisms, these different like tones and voices you do for all these different ethnicities? Monster sometimes an older man, sometimes sponge in the ocean. How do you do that?
That's very good.
What was it?
How do you do different kind of mannerisms, tones, or whatever? Like if you were SpongeBob in the ocean.
I thought you were going to, are there voices where you listen to them later and you go, God, I could have done that better? That's not
No, he's just wondering how you break into the certain mannerisms.
I'm like the king of self-doubt, but
Yeah.
I think, like I said before, it really is just, you just got to be confident in your choices, and when, voiceover actors that are just starting, are asking me that, and that's kind of that can only come with experience.
Yes.
Because once you've trusted your gut a million times, and your gut has stood you in pretty good stead and had a pretty good track record, you're like, oh, you know what? I think I can actually trust this gut of my instincts. So it really is just looking at all that evidence, the script, the storyboard, and I look at every shred that they give me, and I comb through it, like just trying to find clues that'll, because sometimes they're not super specific, and sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not. So sometimes you have to fill in the blanks, and you're hoping to give them something that maybe they hadn't thought of, but they respond to it. Like, wow, that wasn't what I was thinking of, but it actually works. Like, I booked a lot of jobs like that, where they go, wow, that is way outside of what we were thinking, but it's pretty funny. Or else they'll say, why don't we take that? That voice doesn't work for this character, but maybe here's a guy that you weren't even coming in to read for. You know, could you read for this guy? And then you wind up booking that part. So you're just trying to like stay in the game, you know, and do something that sparks their interest.
Yeah, and it goes all the way back to, like I said, talent, because I can only do maybe three sounds, 3 voices, or whatever, but to be able to literally look at a card and see exactly what they want and then say, oh, okay, I can do that. It's like,
well, you never know that you're giving them exactly what they want, but you go, I'm making my best guess and I'm comfortable with that. And then you just hope that of all the you know, you get enough plates spinning that so it'll pay off. Because, you know, that's the part of voice acting that people are always surprised to hear is that, you know, you're kind of always in this state of flux. Shows are always ending. Some show is having its last episode. You're going to a rap party, and they're going, "It's been a great 3 seasons, everybody." Or you're just hoping that something that you auditioned for a while back or a pilot that you made is getting picked up. And then there's stuff like SpongeBob and Adventure Time that are kind of the long time. Like I always tell people, like, you know, the way that a shopping mall has the big stores at the corner. It's like there's Macy's and Nordstrom's. Like SpongeBob and Powerpuff Girls and Adventure Time would be like the Macy's and Nordstrom's and Sears. And then, you know, in between you do a little Sbarro's pizza and Sunglass Hut.
I'm gonna steal.
And those are fun too. You know, they pay the rent.
We're getting close to the end. I'm just going to steal somebody's questions. My apologies. But voices in other countries, when SpongeBob is shipped overseas and you're seeing it in Japanese, you're seeing it in German, you're seeing it in whatever.
I've seen a lot of different.
Are you hired to do any of those? Have you ever been hired to do a different language?
If I could speak a different language, they probably would go, "Hey, just use the real guy." But I'm monolingual, unfortunately. But I do go to a lot of countries and always watch SpongeBob, and it's always interesting. Like the guys are usually very, very good. You know, it's kind of weird to hear that.
It's an impersonation of you, basically.
Yes.
And if it works, I mean, but still, laughing at things that are trademarked.
It's always a little bit, but some guys, you go, wow, you know, I'm stealing that, you know. Like the SpongeBob from Finland, this is funny, I was doing like an Angry Birds thing, which is in Finland. Like one of the games, it was like Star Wars Angry Birds. And so I'm on the phone in Los Angeles, I'm recording over the phone with guys in Finland. And they go, oh, one of our main actors wants to talk to you. And this guy came on, and he's the voice of SpongeBob in Finland. And they said, I'm coming to the United States in August. I was wondering if I could visit you and maybe visit Nickelodeon. So I go, sure. And so that guy actually wound up coming to one of the records for SpongeBob Sponge Out of Water. So it's like, wow, hey guys, this is the SpongeBob of Finland, you know? It's like, and I think he wound up being like some ancillary voice in the SpongeBob Sponge Out of Water movie just because he was around.
That's disturbing. Then you go sit there and go, hey.
How do you say this in Finnish? Speaking of Finnish.
Speaking of Finnish. She got it. Okay, hi.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn.
Hi, Jocelyn.
I was just wondering if, you know how Ice King, who you play, is the bad guy, and how he captures princesses all over Ew, and how sometimes he captures Ben and Jake. Well, I was wondering if sometimes maybe you want to try being the good guy instead of always a bad guy.
That's a good question. You know, it's funny that you say that, because I usually wind up, like if you look at my IMDb, I'm usually either the nicest guy ever or like super evil, like with no real in between. And you're right. I mean, I think that's one of the things I like about Ice King is that he started out just being the bad guy that locked up princesses and would capture Finn and Jake, and then they started to delve into his head and show you what made him like this and all that stuff with Simon and Marceline and Betty and all that stuff. And so I feel like with the Ice King, you get to have it both ways as an actor, because you get to be like the psychotic madman guy, but you also, in those flashback episodes, get to be him when he was this really nice, kind man that was guiding this little vampire girl through the post-apocalyptic wilderness, and trying to hang on to his marbles, and so I feel like him. I get to play it both ways, but it's really fun to be the good guy, and it's really fun to be a super evil guy. It's fun to play Marvel villains too.
Yeah, every actor I've had up here with me, it seems like the villain role is better than the so-called nice roles, and it's more entertaining, it's more colorful when you're bad.
Yeah, it is. There's more places. There's definitely more places to go.
Okay, we got time for maybe about 2 more, so let's see how this goes.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, good to see you again. How's your best friend doing?
He's doing awesome. Well, he's back in my hometown, but yeah, he's doing awesome. Yeah. So my question is, as you may know, and also all the fans know, SpongeBob is a very quotable show. You can watch one episode, Bang Geeks Bang Geeks is also like my favorite episode of all time.
Cool. That's it.
And even goes far like, you see something like that, it just makes your day, even as far as, the time part, many months later, things like that.
Are you auditioning?
But those memes come in handy, right? Like if your brother's taking too long in the bathroom in the morning, you knock on the door and go 2 hours later.
Shut
up and hurry.
So my question to you would be, what would be your favorite quote from the show, whether it be from recording, from voice acting, or when you watch the show?
Of SpongeBob?
Yes.
Well, let's see. The one that seems to come in handy in an unexpected amount of situations is,
You do like Krabby Patties.
when somebody has told you they don't like something, and then you can tell they're kind of getting run over by it. You know what I mean?
You do like Krabby Patties.
Don't use that word. It's pretty good, I admit it. So yeah, that's a good one.
Thanks, Tom.
You got it, baby.
My God.
Tony, did you get that? All right.
We could probably squeeze in 2. Go ahead.
Hi.
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 Okay, so off of Adventure Time, besides Ice King, who's your favorite character?
On Adventure Time, favorite character that I do, or just everything? Oh man, Cinnamon Bun is extremely disturbing. I enjoy him. I like Cinnamon Bun. I love Marceline. Every character on that show has unexpected layers. Princess Bubblegum has turned out to be this incredibly weird control freak, brainiac weirdo on the show. What's going on? What's going on between her and Marceline? We don't know. But there's all kinds of craziness in there. So, I gotta say, I kind of like Starchy. In terms of characters that I do, Starchy the great, totally minor character. You're the old creepy guy, Starchy, him? You're like the old guy who thinks everything is a conspiracy? Yeah, oh, it's a conspiracy. He just listens to radio all the time and thinks that's a conspiracy. I have people in my family that go, hey, have you heard about the contrails, man? Yeah, they're trying to sterilize us, bro. It's the contrails. It's the government, dude. It's the government.
See, people think SpongeBob and Adventure Time are for kids. No. Yes, me up.
And dive very deep into both those shows.
And the absolute final question for the evening goes to this young lady right here. Our apologies, but hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you do the dab?
Huh?
Can you do the dab?
The dab?
Oh, the dab. Oh, the dab.
The dab.
That's this guy kind of like this. I don't know that I'm really a great dabber yet. Could you give me a little dab?
Do the dab. There you go.
Yeah, so how did I do? On a scale of 1 to 5? 5! I love you! I I'm elderly, so I just heard about dabbing like a day ago, you know? It's like, oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to have here at Fan Expo Dallas, Mr. Tom Kinney!
Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks so much, love you.